Jason Lee Podcast.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Show. Yes, we are here, and I'm not going to mention this every episode, but I am the Vice Mayor of Stockton. Just would like to say that. Feels good to be at work, though. You know, everybody back in Stockton, where I live now, my hometown, people always used to say when I was on the campaign trail, how are you going to do this when you work in L.A.? Let me make this simple for you, and this is interesting how politics create these narratives. There's a lot of you who live in Stockton and have to commute to San Francisco. That's an hour and a half one way every day. My commute is only 45 minutes. I mean, so when you put it in the grand scheme of things, it is what it is. But I'm so excited to be here. You all were at the swearing in. And did you enjoy it?
What? It felt so cool to see the whole room just celebrating you and all of our hard work and our hard work paying off.
Well, no, our hard work, because I didn't do it alone. I thanked everybody, my 7-year-old campaign manager, my team, all my volunteers, the donors. Everybody, you know, we spent a lot of money, we spent a lot of time. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. Why? Because I actually have my speech right here. Take a look.
The 7-year-old got it right. I didn't even put my hand up, but I do take the oath. Thank you very much. In 2018, I wrote a book titled God Must Have Forgotten About Me. And it was a memoir sharing my coming-of-age story. In the first chapter, titled Surviving Stockton, I described a life that many in this community may have experienced or are experiencing right now. You see, my life wasn't the picture-perfect story where mom and dad waited for me to come home after school to help me with homework, cook me a nice meal, or read me a bedtime story. My childhood was rough, and the streets of Stockton and growing up in them was hard. But I titled the first chapter Surviving Stockton because I realized that my life is a testimony, that if you can survive the streets of Stockton, you can survive anything. You can go ahead and clap it up if you hear something that you agree with. Navigating through Stockton's Children's Home and Mary Graham Hall, I found my way into foster care. The journey led me to discovering my faith, and the Easter family that's here today at New Hope Church of God in Christ taught me many things, including how to read the Bible. And in fact, Isaiah 41:10 from the Old Testament says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God, and I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold with my righteous right hand." I never forgot that verse, and in that moment, I realized that God had not forgotten about me. In fact, he would use me throughout my life to fight for those less fortunate. And as a child navigating foster care, being shot at the age of 15, losing lots of friends and families to gun violence in this community, including losing the most important person in my life at the time, my brother Rodney Deion Townsend. But I came to a pivotal moment in my life. I had to use what was meant to break me to fuel my every step. My life has been defined by overcoming. Every weapon designed against me has failed, and every single hater has been a step stool to my success. My ambition, my tenacity, willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done is hopefully modeling for those like Malcolm who choose to follow in my footsteps, because young people are watching us, and they have seen us let the city go to hell. The days of hammer skate, golf land, water slides, parks and pools, boys and girls club have all disappeared. And the rich keep getting richer, and the rest just keep on struggling. And just to be very clear, I'm extremely committed to changing that. Now, to fulfill this commitment, my focus will be creating opportunities for our youth by investing in after-school programs, rebuilding safe recreational spaces like parks and pools, and expanding access to mentor initiatives like the I Am Ready program. Additionally, I will work to ensure that families have access to affordable housing and that our city's small businesses receive the support that they need to thrive, creating a stronger local economy for everybody. First, I want to thank my 7-year-old campaign manager, Malcolm Bell. So I first met Malcolm when he was just 5 years old, speaking before the city council on my behalf, asking the city to invest in kids like him. And the youth of Stockton have been the least invested in resource of this community for far too long. And it was important to me that the face of my campaign reflect the priority that we need to give our youth. Malcolm, I just want to say thank you for stepping up and taking on this task. You are officially the youngest campaign manager in U.S. history to win a campaign. He's right there, okay. I'd like to thank my amazing family and friends who laid the groundwork for one of the most exciting and invigorating campaigns that this city has ever seen. My cousins, Natasha Brown, Anitra West Williams, Anthony Dunn, my sister Tamika Small, and my friends Ali Abdullah, Teddy Rain, Fredo, and Tashante McCoy, we worked every single day for 14 months. Your leadership and your support made all of this possible. To my incredible volunteers who work tirelessly, who ask for more to do instead of complaining about the workload, you've become my family, and we've built a diverse campaign that reflected the richness of our community. From the Filipino and Asian American Zumba ladies to Brother Nuri Muhammad and his organizers, Georgia Brownlee and R.C. Thompson, to Satnam Singh and the Sikh and Punjabi leaders, as well as Zoila Moreno and the Latino community who have embraced me as one of their own. Thank you for helping us build cultural bridges to unite and strengthen a fragmented district. And to my staff, Marina Perrick, Johnny Cruz, and Andrew Willens, thank you for helping me to balance the wildest deliverables to get every priority that we had this year met. And to our youth volunteers, especially Zach Holsey, thank you for showing young people that civic engagement can be meaningful and fun. Now, as I said when we began this campaign, this is just the start, and we have lots of work ahead, so every single person that's ever helped me, you are stuck with me now at least for 4 more years. Yeah, I hope you clap now, because the work is coming. Now, the dedication and unity that we've seen throughout this campaign gives me hope for what we can achieve together. Now, with your continued support, I plan to prioritize equitable policies that uplift underserved communities in District 6 and across Stockton. This includes addressing the gun violence by increasing preventative measures, strengthening partnerships with local organizations to provide resources for mental health and family service, and creating pathways for economic mobility through workforce training programs. These policies will not just be promises, but actions to rebuild trust in this community and create lasting change when I'm gone. To Mayor-elect Christina Fugazi, thank God for Christina Fugazi, y'all. Because, baby, had it gone the other way, y'all would have had to bring a seatbelt to City Council. To Mayor-elect Christina Fugazi, your support from the beginning in educating me about the Stockton politics, policies, and the needs of this community have been invaluable. Thank you for believing in my vision and for guiding me along the way. To Councilwoman Padilla, your endorsement as a sitting city council member while I was running this campaign, your support of the work my nonprofit has done for young people, and your resilience in the face of political attacks inspire me. Thank you for taking my 5 calls a day and believing in me, and I'm here now, and I got your back. Now, I'd like to thank the donors, because we raised and spent a lot of money, because they were raising a lot of money to fight us, and we beat them with this money. So I'd like to thank the donors who supported our movement. As you all know, Mayor-elect Christina Fugazi and Councilmember Mario Enriquez and I, we all ran on a slate campaign titled the Safer Stockton Coalition, the first of its kind. And it was based on shared values and the vision that we had for you and that we heard from you, the voters. And I want to thank the members of the media who shared my foster care to Forbes story, the journey from running the streets to running for city council. But unfortunately, in Stockton politics, when you run for office or hold a position, the players in this community often try to put you in a box. You're either labeled a 209 times puppet or a Stocktonia special interest prop. And while I'm proud to own one of the culture's most successful media platforms and to be a part of the global media community, I am beholden to neither one of these platforms. However, I do want to thank Moctezuma Sanchez and the 209 Times for sharing my advocacy to bring translation services to City Hall, a right denied to the Latino community for decades. And for highlighting my work with the Housing Authority to desegregate the pool in Sierra Vista, making it accessible to all children who live there. For helping the Gospel Rescue Mission to get county funding from Supervisor Paul Canepa when the city voted against keeping beds open to keep homeless off the street. Thank you. Yeah, clap it up for Paul Canepa. He out there somewhere. Thank you for sharing the work that I was doing before I was even in office. Though some tried to reduce my efforts to being an agent for others working in the shadows, the voters of Stockton saw through the smoke and mirrors. Thank you to the voters, and as Christina Fugazi says, enough was enough, and for getting behind our campaign. Now, a special thanks to Floyd Mayweather, Rihanna, Joyner Lucas, Kevin Hart, Leandria Johnson, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Ben Crump, Babyface, Tiffany Haddish, Benny Medina, Prophet Walker, Catherine Bruton, Mir Antonio Villargosa, Stephen Klubeck, Stockton Firefighters 456, Operating Engineers 3, SCIU Local 10 to 1, SCIU Local 1000, and of course Cardi B, who was sick and wanted to be here tonight, but she couldn't make it. She'll get here one day. Your contributions and your willingness and your presence here in Stockton show how much you care about me and my community. And lastly, and most importantly to the voters, my promise to you is to lead with a clear vision, integrity, transparency, access, and accountability. Thank you for trusting me. While I know I won't make every single person happy, I will work tirelessly to deliver on the promises made during my campaign. Now, a friend of mine gave me some good advice. He said, politics is like math. Focus on the addition and multiplication, not the subtraction and division. And thank you. As your representative, I pledge to make voices of our community heard. My first priorities will include advocating for transparent governance, ensuring public resources are equitably distributed, and addressing critical issues like housing affordability, public safety, and youth empowerment. And I will work to rebuild the trust in local government by pushing for accountability and keeping the community informed every step of the way. Now, when I ran, I was clear. I'm going to come to Stockton, and I'm going to be spilling the tea here, too. As a councilman, of course. But the T here, unlike my day job, stands for truth, trust, and transparency. And so that said, I'm ready to get to work. I'm humbled to serve, and thank you to everybody, every single person that came out tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great night. I appreciate you guys coming out. We partied. We had a good time.
Yeah, and it was great to have like Tiffany came out and Catherine Bruton came out. There's a lot of people who actually came to town to support you. That was great to see.
And there were a lot of people in there who were naysayers and haters at first. So to see them like finally bend the knee was good.
Well, listen, I hope what I've shown everybody is that you can be cool, be lit, have a fun life, have a great career or your own business, and still be civically engaged. I know how much Rob loves politics. We talk about it all the time when we look at how the world is shifting. I want more younger people to get registered to vote. If you are not registered to vote and you're not active, please use me as a testament on why you should do it. You can go right here, and we'll put the website up right here where you can go and get registered to vote. Do that now because there's another election coming up in 2 years. And Donald Trump is taking office as our president. And there will be national political opportunities for people in 2 years, so you should be prepared for that. And I want to show this clip really quick of all the friends, Tiffany, everybody coming out because we did this little cool video that Johnny captured. Take a look at this right here. All right, thank you to everybody that came out and supported me. And look, Stockton is on. If you don't live in Stockton, you don't have property in Stockton, you don't have a business in Stockton, right now is the time to invest. This is like the Dogecoin. Yeah, you heard about the coin, but you didn't invest. Now's your chance to invest because I'm committed to getting my city on track. Okay. Y'all don't want to hear nothing else about politics. Let's just get straight to the tea with Jason Lee. Well, people think living in Stockton may be rough because of crime and homelessness and all the things that are happening in other areas. Well, let me tell you what's not happening. Wildfires. I still have a residence in LA. I don't have my residence in Miami anymore because when I'm here for work, I need a place to sleep. And when I was in Stockton, I was at my house luxuriating in the South Side District while LA was burning down to the ground. I lived in LA for almost 20 years, probably 20 years. And all the years I've lived there, I have never seen a fire this bad. We see fires, brush fires like up north, and we'd be like, well, if you burn down Magic Mountain, we don't care because it ain't going near our house. Yeah, we didn't care. Well, guess what? It actually was at our backyards. Rob's house almost burned down. The studio was almost burnt down. That's how close the fires were. And people are looking at this all over the world and saying, oh my God, I can't believe what's happening in LA. It is tragic what has happened here. Is there any other word other than devastation?
No, it's really I feel like the city is still in a state of shock because it's so devastating.
And it's not over yet.
Listen, the fires are still burning right now. Just so you know, on January 7th, though, is when the first report surfaced of a brush fire erupting in the Pacific Palisades. Now, look, Y'all don't know what the Pacific Palisades are, but guess what? You won't, because it's gone. The Pacific Palisades burning down, in my mind, is still the craziest thing to wrap my mind around, because these are $35, $50 million homes. People, all the football players, basketball players, everybody that lives out there, the rich of the rich, it's gone. This fire erupted in the Pacific Palisades, and it quickly grew and led to an evacuation order and a state of emergency. Now, the Palisades fire was then followed by at least 6 other fires all over Los Angeles County. Now, when you think of Stockton, okay, so my hometown, yes, I live in Western Ranch, and then there's East Side, North Side, Spanos, there's all these different communities, right? LA, when you hear LA County, you think it's just one city like a Stockton. No, it is a massive amount of cities within this county, and it is a huge county. I want to say probably 10 million people in LA County or something like that. You can check it, it's 10 million people. Well, there were fires all over LA County burning down, many of which are being investigated as arson. Now, among the handfuls of fires in LA County, the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire in Altadena and Pasadena have been the most devastating, are still blazing right now. How many people?
9.6 million.
9.6 million people in LA County. That's how many people are. So just think about this. This is 6, 7 fires that are happening all simultaneously. Mm-hmm. Now, at the time of recording this show, the Palisades fire scorched nearly 24,000 acres and is only 19% contained. And the Eaton fire has scorched over 14,000 acres with 45% containment. Now, among the two fires, there have been at least 25 deaths and at least 26 missing people reported, and nearly 80,000 customers without power in Los Angeles and the surrounding counties. Now, there's also been about 50 people arrested. That this happened during the fire evacuation zones because people were breaking into other people's houses, stealing and robbing them blind, curfew violations, suspicion of setting fires. We posted those clips on Hollywood Unlocked, gun possession, and a lot more. Now, the fires have taken the homes of several celebrities, and we've seen it online, including Janae Aiko, Heidi Montage, and Paris Hilton, and others, right? But one thing I will say, shout out to all of the firefighters and first responders. You really don't know how scary a fire is until you are almost in it. I'm home in Stockton, feet up, eating a cup of noodles. That's what you do when you're in Stockton. And I call Rob because I'm like, I need you to go to that residence. I need you to get my guns. I need you to get that. Rob is literally packing, throwing things in the bag because he's about to be homeless because his house is about to burn down. So what I have to do is apologize because my insensitivity to everybody at the time that the houses was burning down was go get my shit, right? Clothes, shoes, the dogs were taken care of. Nobody was there or whatever. But I was home and in Stockton. So it was one of those things where I really didn't think about how challenging a fire can be. Mm-hmm. And I don't think in all the 20 years we've lived here that we've ever thought of evacuating because of a fire. What did you think?
No, and it's interesting because I literally had gotten a call before your call from my family, and they were like, "Hey, are you safe?" I'm like, "Yeah, the fire is never by us. Like I keep explaining this to you guys. Like we're always safe. We're fine." And then literally 20 minutes later, I get an evacuation notice because the Hollywood Hills catch on fire. And I'm like, oh my God.
And you live right by the Hollywood sign.
Yeah. So I'm like right down the street. So I called my family and I'm like, well, I am being evacuated after all. So they wanted to stay on the phone with me. My sister's like, the dot's not moving. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm going to get out in time. But it's really kind of surreal, like being in your home and being like, okay, let me put a few things in this bag. And I just got to be okay with everything that's here burning. Like you got to make that quick decision and then leave. So it was really like surreal.
Now you're originally from Chicago where you can get killed by a stray bullet faster than anything. When you look at the fires burning here, what do you think?
Devastating. I cannot believe it. It was like 2 fires going on at the same time. And where I live, I was sandwiched in between. But I was in Stockton too. So until I came here and I saw it with my own eyes about to go over the mountain, I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, you're not safe anywhere. And then Chicago and Atlanta, everybody there was freezing, and we're here with fires. And then, even if the fire doesn't hit you, you got to worry about the smoke, because if that gets in your lungs, and that's carcinogens in there. It's crazy.
So many layers to all of this. Now, back to the firefighters and the first responders who are putting things out. Thank you so much for doing that, because everybody's homes, including Rob and my residence, are still intact. And the studio, oh my God, because I thought I was going to have to fire Marina. And Johnny. No show, no more job. Well, helping to tame the fires are not only firefighters in and around LA, but some from New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, Arizona, and Washington, and also Stockton, California. Some of our firefighters came to LA to help out, and Canada and Mexico. So while y'all trying to build the wall, the Mexicans came here to help us put out the fire. Just want to let that sit for a little bit. Well, there's also more than 1,000 inmates from the California Department of Corrections and Rehab who are out helping out via a voluntary fire camps program with Cal Fire. Now, according to the CDCR, the participating prisoners are only to be paid between $5.80 and $10.24 a day, plus $1 an hour when responding to active emergencies. Now, those of you that are saying, well, they're criminals, they should get out there and work for free. Let me remind you what policing in prisons come from. They come from slaves, slave catchers, Jim Crow, and now free labor. This is the new form of slavery. And I'll let you sit with that for a while. Look at the prison reform movement and how many more people are impacted by that. That hopefully will set in and make you think about things. But either way, I mean, they were out there putting out fires, helping our first responders to save people's lives. Now, celebrities like Chris Brown, Kim Kardashian say that they deserve more, and they went live advocating for the prisoners, saying, look, if you're going to get them out there to help save the world, make sure that they're paid properly. Take a look. Chris Brown says, LA, make sure y'all throw a ceremony or parade for these firefighters and first responders after this. Also, the prisoners who were out there risking their lives, they need time. They need time knocked off their sentences. Just saying. Kim Kardashian said, on all 5 fires in Los Angeles, there are hundreds of incarcerated firefighters risking their lives to save us. They are on the Palisades fire and Eaton fire in Pasadena, working 24-hour shifts. They get paid almost nothing, risk their lives. Some have died to prove to the community that they have changed and are now first responders. I see them as heroes. Kim also went on to say, the incarcerated firefighters have been paid $1 an hour to risk their lives, and this pay has been the same since 1984. It has never been raised with inflation. It's never been raised when fires got worse and many died. This year, there was an agreement to raise the incarcerated fire pay to $5 an hour, but it got shot down last minute. I'm urging the California governor, who is Newsom, to do what no governor has done in 4 decades and raise the incarcerated firefighter pay to a rate that honors a human being risking their life to save our lives and home. God, Kim, you had a lot to say. She also went on to say, and lastly, I want to thank the firefighters from the Cal Fire Ventura Training Center for saving my community when it started burning this week. These are all formerly incarcerated firefighters who have come home and want to continue serving our community as firefighters due to bills passed by whatever. These guys can now get their sentences reduced, expunging the felonies from their records for their fire service. And when they come home, they can get a 6-figure paying job working for the fire departments. What do you think of this, though? I mean, I love the fact that Kim is advocating for it, but I mean, minimum wage in California right now is probably like $39,000 an hour. Why would we take incarcerated people, put them directly in harm's way, and not compensate them for that?
It's interesting that this is coming up now, because on this last ballot that we voted on, it was on there. It said, should we make slavery illegal in circumstances of incarceration? And it got voted down, which was crazy to me.
Really?
That was just on the last ballot.
That's crazy.
So, like, this
Did it say the word slavery?
Yes. It said involuntary slavery. Should it be banned in cases where a person was as a punishment for a crime? And it was shot down. It was not banned.
So people said we should still have slaves?
Yes, which is insane to me
That's
that passed in California, in LA. So, like, this is a real conversation that needs to be had. Yes, these people are putting themselves in harm's way, and we're not compensating them. I mean, that goes for a lot of people across this country who get paid less than, a livable wage. But
And you talk about the smoke from the fires. These people are right in the fire with the smoke.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And Kim, she got people out of jail too, so I'm hoping she can help make change. Because I saw also Nick Cannon was out there with the firefighters. I didn't even know that incarcerated firefighters.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I saw the picture Nick Cannon posted. I almost zoomed in on one inmate. Said, "Who's that?"
You know what?
No, because I'm fighting for prison reform.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, a journalist named Jeremy Lindenfeld, he also advocated for the inmates, claiming that they were being underpaid and underappreciated. Take a look at what his tweet said. He said, today I was granted access to speak with the incarcerated firefighters. They told me they hadn't showered in 5 days. They were not provided regular meals. They were working 24 hours in a row, and they feel underappreciated and underpaid. They also said that they all wanted to be there and that they see the work as an important way to give back to the community. People in prison are human beings. And this is the thing. I know that I've joked before about Crip Bay and all these things. Everybody's life has value. Even people who are in prison going through their process, you know, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, because if you molested a kid or you raped somebody, well, if you killed somebody, I don't know. Let me take that back. The people who are out there who are safe enough to still be in the streets helping us have value. Like, let's at least give them dignity and some respect. I think they should be paid. Properly. I wonder what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. I'll go by and read when this show goes live. Well, here's some of the incarcerated firefighters sharing their goals while in the program. Take a look.
Put fires out, man, and protect structures and save lives.
Actually, very thankful for the opportunity that I got, you know, get my record expunged, you know, give me opportunity to build a strong foundation, you know, so I can advance in life and have a future, not only me, but for my kids.
We were fighting fires, protecting everybody. Before I got incarcerated, sadly, I didn't really not know much about firefighting. So once I did become incarcerated, I actually ended up liking it. So yeah, I can actually see myself as a firefighter. Hopefully, once I parole, I'll be going to the Ventura program, graduate from there, and then be on with Cal Fire.
We've been putting them out for the last 24 hours. We're down 24 right now. So we're a little bit tired, and we just had a great meal, and we're about ready to bed it down. And I'm real thankful to be here and with everybody here and everybody that's supporting firefighters.
And, you know, and when I think about now being the vice mayor of a city, there are a lot of people that get out of prison, get back into communities like the ones that those people come from, and don't have any reentry program or any way of really getting their footing to be productive parts of their community again. So we have to change that. And that's why it's so important to get registered to vote and be active and run for office where you can, because there ain't a lot of people that may not look like who are thinking about that. Well, now, as far as the fire relief, thousands of people, including celebrities and organizations, have been donating to a fire fund and other platforms. Now, Beyonce donated $2.5 million to the Altadena victims. Now, in case you don't know, Altadena, I'm learning this because I know where Altadena is. It's that way. I didn't know that was a predominantly black community that's just burnt down to the ground. And Kim Kardashian's Skims brand also donated clothing and underwear to fire victims, and the Kardashian family supported first responders with meals. I do want to give a special shout out to In-N-Out Burger. They gave free meals to firefighters. And side note, put a pin in that. You know, the woman that owns that is young. She's like in her 30s.
That owns In-N-Out?
She inherited it from her family, owns all the In-N-Outs. She's on social media too. I'm gonna DM her one day because they said she's super cool and stuff too. But for her to do that is so great. So by the way, you have the best burgers in the business,
and they treat their employees really well, I believe. So
don't eat the fries though. I mean, maybe with animal style, yeah. But the burgers, the best. Well, The Game has also been on the ground helping fire victims. Rapper The Game, you know, the guy who just had a baby by. Anyway, don't want to be messy here. Baby is so cute. By the way, look at this baby real quick. Take a look. Damn, that made me want to have a baby for like 5 minutes. Well, The Game has been out visiting fire victims and victims and people that are surviving it, and visiting shelters, giving first responders food, blankets, pillows, undergarments, socks, and more. Now, FEMA has already received over 55,000 applications for disaster aid, with nearly 12 million so far provided to fire victims. I read somewhere online as I was Googling all of this, there's almost projected to be $150 billion worth of damage caused by these fires. $150 billion. Now, Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, who you know is a friend of the show, who I love, I love Karen Bass. Have we given her an award?
Yeah.
Impact.
Yeah,
Award. She's an Impact
2 years ago.
She's an Impact Award recipient too. She is under fire, in part because she's a black woman. Let's just say that. Because I feel like she's wrongfully being attacked. One, she was in Africa at the time the fire started. You can't predict when a fire is going to happen, and she has a responsibility to our city, being that LA is one of the top 3 economies in the world. So in terms of like money and moving, Hollywood, she runs the city. So she does have to travel. She couldn't predict that this was going to happen. They caught her coming right off the plane and just got her hemmed up right in the corner and let her have it. Matter of fact, take a look at the video.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
And do you feel like what they're doing with Karen is wrong? Or do you feel like she deserves it because she's the mayor?
Rob, you answer.
Yeah, I feel like it's completely wrong. It's interesting, too, because the conversation is always, this is what happens when you have DEI hires. They want to say that first as the lead-in, but then when we have a conversation and say, no, this has nothing to do with her race, this has to do with the fact that it's a wildfire and extreme winds and the effects of global warming, and then they go, well, this isn't a conversation about race, why do you always want to bring race into it? Well, you started it when you said this was a DEI hire. Like, they keep doing that. And we weren't having this conversation when the fires were in Hawaii. We weren't having this conversation when the hurricanes hit Florida. We weren't having this conversation when it's a male-led circumstance.
Well, and when we were having it was Hurricane Katrina, but you look at how the president failed to respond and failed to give aid and ignored the needs. We weren't outraged when Trump was in Puerto Rico throwing paper towels at the Puerto Ricans and the way he treated them during those hurricanes, but we forget history when it becomes something associated with a black woman or person. But here's what I will say. You know, now it's made me think as a vice mayor of a city, like I actually ran into the fire chief and asked him, are we prepared? Or, you know, what's our hydrant system? Because the hydrant system in LA wasn't working. Well, how is the mayor supposed to know that it's not working if the people over it don't tell her that it's not working? Now, where she got criticized was she defunded some of the fire department. That's what they're reporting. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're saying that she took some money from the fire department budget and put more in policing. Is that true, or is that right-wing politics?
It's propaganda. So what actually happened was she proposed a budget cut of $23 million, but that budget cut was because they had already funded the purchase of a bunch of equipment and things that they already needed. So that cut wasn't like, hey, we're going to take money away from the fire department. But in the end, they ended up renegotiating, and the city council approved an additional $53 million for raises for firefighters and another $58 million for equipment purchases. So it went well beyond the $17.6 million that they're saying she cut, and it was upwards of like $80 million that it went over the budget from the year before.
Well, I'm on the budget committee for Stockton and the audit committee, so I, you know, it just was a reminder how to really take these matters really serious. Well, President Joe Biden announced that the government will be offering an initial one-time payment of $770 to the victims of LA fires, and will be covering 100% of the disaster response costs for the next 6 months. If you lose a home in the Pacific Palisades worth $35 million, does $700 a one-time payment help at all? No, it doesn't. And people are really mad. And here's where I will go back to saying, I get it. I understand why Americans are mad. We do a lot to help the whole world. We send millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to Ukraine and all these countries, Israel. But like now back home, you send me a check for $700 when my $30 million home burnt down.
Because wasn't the COVID stimmy check more than that?
But again, this is a temporary relief check that's supposed to help them get like underwear, diapers, food, because they're in.
When you lose everything, $700, what is that supposed to do?
I think it's just a temporary support from FEMA for the people.
Think you're just a Democrat that's going to make an excuse for everything.
I think it should have. I think they should get more for sure. Like I have some friends who I'm reading their posts where they were getting rejected for relief because they're like, oh, you have insurance, so you're not getting the FEMA relief. But now they finally got it when Joe Biden pushed it through. But again, $770 is not a lot. But they're also putting measures in place to make sure insurance companies don't block them from getting coverage. So the government's doing what it needs to do, but I think this is temporary.
Well, speaking of that, you know, the insurance companies were going to do what insurance companies do, and they tried to cancel all the people's policies right before all this happened, and even up into through it was going on. They wanted to cancel the fire part of their policies. Now, I don't encourage violence. But I've been reading all your comments where y'all say, where Luigi at? Y'all are a mess for that. Because you get people's frustration when people go through real life things. These people have lost everything. And I know in the news and Hollywood Unlocked, we're really showing what the celebrities are going through. But there's real life people going through. Rob really packing up his house me having to, get things in order, me having to think about what if my business burns down, right? Like what happens and the impact that could happen. So I'm one of the fortunate that made it through. We are, but a lot of people lost everything and got a $700 check. California officials, in response to that, issued a mandatory 1-year moratorium on insurance non-renewals and cancellations after those companies tried to cancel it on the residents in months leading up to the fire. So the moratorium ensures that homeowners in the Palisades and Eaton fires are protected regardless of whether their property sustained damage or not. Also, California Governor Newsom, who's been beefing with Donald Trump and who is under fire. People in California and all over the world hate you, Gavin. I don't know necessarily why. I mean, I have some ideas, but there's a lot of people that are mad at you right now. But he's been in a beef with Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump has been using this fire, which is a extremely critical life situation for so many people, those directly impacted and those who are around it, because we all know at least one person who lost everything. He's politicizing the hell out of it. And in a time where we need to bring people together to help those who are in need, he's attacking the governor. Now, Trump called Governor Newsom incompetent and blames him for the fires. Now, he's been issuing several executive orders to keep price gouging and other scams at bay to ensure prompt processing of FEMA applications and rebuilding efforts, plus more. However, some of his rebuilding plans left some social media users shocked, as he mentioned wanting to enact a Marshall Plan to reimagine LA 2.0 ahead of the World Cup, Super Bowl, and Olympics headed to the city of Los Angeles in the next 3 years. Now, I will tell you, I've gotten lots of calls of people saying they burn this shit down because there's this, there's these 200 trailer park homes or whatever where they want to build a freeway or build a this or that. I don't know that to be the case. That's what all of you are saying. But anyway, Gavin responded to all of that. Gavin talked about that, and this is what he said.
Over the course of the next several years, Los Angeles will be host to the World Cup and then the Super Bowl and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. President of the United States, Donald Trump, to his credit, was helpful in getting the Olympics to the United States of America, to get it down here in LA. We thank him for that. This is an opportunity for him to shine, for this country to shine, for California and this community to shine. The opportunity with all of that and all that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan?
For
Tell
this
us about
region,
this Marshall
we're just
Plan.
starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders and nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly, but also federal assistance for the recovery efforts, and how we can galvanize the community with folks that love this community to really develop a mindset so that at scale we're dealing with the scope of this tragedy and responding to it at scale with efficiency, like the executive order I talked about, time value of delivering projects, addressing building codes, addressing permitting issues, and moving forward to rebuilding and being more resilient.
That's a lot. Well, one would say they're ahead of the curve, so they're just preparing for the future in a real expedited manner. Some would sigh and say, why are y'all planning to build a city when the city's still on fire? I think both have to happen at the same time. That's what leadership is. You have to think about, okay, what is the future while we're getting through right now? You don't let it burn all the way to the ground and then say, let's start. You have to start thinking about resourcing all that. So I applaud Gavin Newsom for doing that. But aside from Gavin Newsom getting the side eye for that, the Kardashians have been getting dragged as well because Khloe, thought that it was going to be okay to slam LA Mayor Karen Bass. Now, I want to say the Kardashians endorsed the guy who ran against Karen Bass, which is the owner of the Grove. What's his name?
Rick Caruso.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Karen Bass ran against Rick Caruso, and the Kardashians had endorsed him. So they've never liked her anyway. And, they don't like nothing black unless it's going in them. So let's just be very clear. Now, she was attacking L.A. Mayor Karen Bass. And when L.A. Fire Chief claimed the city cut $17 million, as Robert said, from the fire budget, Chloe had a lot to say. Look.
Over this news that basically the chief, Kristen Crowley, was ordered into a closed-door meeting that lasted a while. Sources inside City Hall tell us that the mayor was none too pleased with the comments that she candidly, with a lot of candor, shared with us. I can tell you, Ellis and Marla, the chief had tears in her eyes. She lives in Los Angeles.
So as you saw in the video, Chloe called the mayor a joke. Well, what's a joke, Chloe, is that you could have pulled up your skims and you could have got and trot your little ass out there with your little bucket and shovel and picked up bits and pieces from the fire your damn self if you care. But all you do is sit up and make TikToks all day, run around trying to find out where your man is and what he's sticking his thing in, instead of actually tending to things that matter to all of us. We are sick of you people, and we're sick of rich people using their platforms to attack people that need help in terms of leadership, trying to guide the city forward. Maybe you can learn something from your sister Kimberly and go have more couth. Is that the word? And more respect to show and demonstrate to your millions and millions of followers that you actually give a shit. The thing that makes you think about the Kardashians in a different way when you're going through a time like this is you all are so blessed and have gotten so much out of this sex tape that you've shifted the world. Everybody's running around like a blow-up doll because of you and your family. You had revenge body, losing all that weight by chasing a man that didn't want you instead of running on a treadmill, and have lucked your way into a lot of things. Success is the fat kid that never really had talent. Now, I guess, you're not fat anymore because you sucked and tucked it all. Look, I don't understand why you're coming from Karen Bass instead of getting out there to help. And you talk about the chief. Did you call the chief? Did you guys make a personal donation to make sure she had more buckets so she can throw more water on the fire? What have you done to actually help besides politicize the devastation and destruction of many, many people who have a lot less than you? You are a bad representation of your family. Now, I'm sure you'll find some way to transition this into another blessing like your stepdad did. But either way, we're not going to buy it. Now, that's coming from a vice mayor, by the way.
Clock that.
Oh, it was this transition that's like your stepdad.
It feels good to be back.
It feels good to have you back.
Or stepmom. Well, Chloe was quickly checked by several black celebrities and personalities online. This is what Jessie Wu had to say. Jessie said, it's interesting how Chloe Elon Musk Kardashian Simpson has been very quick to call Mayor Karen Bass a joke, but had no smoke for Trump, J.D. Vance, or Elon during the past election. And then Blue, friend to the show, of course, and Hollywood Unlocked, says, the way Chloe is quick to publicly check black women, but goes mute when black men and everyone else is gross and very telling. Yvette Nicole Brown, friend of the show, said, this is from 2022 when LA was in the midst of a drought. Every citizen was asked to conserve for the good of everyone else. Because of fires, this is how some citizens responded to the ask. Is this a joke? And that was a story from Rolling Stone saying the Kardashians among LA's worst water wasters, using 330,000 gallons of county limit in June. Well, I'm sure you're probably trying to wash your sins away with all that water, but unfortunately, we can go over to Hulu and see you all still living in them. Please focus on the things that move our culture. Well, sorry. You're not a part of our culture. Ooh. Please use your platforms to move the needs of regular citizens forward. Kim did a good job. Look, I be hard on you, Kim, because you're the reason why all these other people are in our life. I like you. I like Courtney. I like everybody. I mean, Chloe, I like you too. But you had a whole husband that was smoking crack in the closet. I can go down the list of... maybe this was why your man was over at Jordan Sparks' house.
I'm not Jordan Sparks.
Jordan Woods. Whatever. Sparks, fire. It's all the same. Jordan Woods. You know what I mean. And please don't take this clip and go, y'all elected him as vice mayor. Yes, I am. It's online. You can go see it. Okay. Anyway, again, to all the first responders, all the firefighters, all the prisoners who are out there helping with the fires, Mayor Bass, the fire chief, everybody from Stockton who's helping LA, everybody from surrounding areas, the Mexicans from Mexico, despite all the attacks that your country's had to endure from the political figureheads in our country, thank you for what you're doing. When you think about what Chloe's saying or doing or adding, or any other person that's attacking the mayor, what do you think?
I feel like everyone keeps pointing the finger and politicizing this. And I feel like Chloe could have just said, like, thanks to Chief Crowley, because we actually booked her, me and my team, on Kelly Clarkson's show a couple years ago. I do love her. And you could have just given her props. Like, it's nobody's fault. And also, they're trying to make it seem like Mayor Bass was on vacation in Africa, but she was doing, like, an inauguration for another president over there. Like, she was doing, like, governmental political
Mayor
duty.
Bass is the real deal. Let me just say, I know her personally. If she wasn't, I would tell you. But you know what I've learned, even in my own political journey, right, or as being an elected official or whatever, because I don't like the word politician, is that people do tear down one to build up another. Like, that's just the game. It's nasty. But like I keep telling everybody in Stockton, I'm nasty too, so play with me if you want to. You tear me down. Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I say, when they go low, we go to hell. So choose wisely.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, she could have used her platform to actually, like, stop misinformation and disinformation. And what's so crazy, and we talk about this, everybody can talk about this now, she could have took 2 seconds and chat GPT'd all the information she needed to actually say something that was correct, instead of putting out misinformation and attacking a black woman. Come on, girl, do better.
Well, now, speaking of misinformation, Meta's no longer going to put misinfo posts on people's content. So now Meta's going to become the highway of say whatever you want.
Just like X.
Bye. Well, speaking of X, Twitch's ex-wife, and she's the ex-wife because he killed himself while he was with her. She's now out on the internet making claims that he was on drugs. I don't know why you would do this, Allison. Before I even get into the story, the world was behind you. We all fell for you. We understand you need to live in your truth, but you're sharing his.
It's above me now.
Allegedly.
Let me get it right. And now you're sharing his
allegedly
truth in the absence of him being here because he's deceased. And now the world doesn't like you. Well, Stephen Twitch Boss's widow. Remember Twitch? He was the dancer DJ over on the Ellen show that the world loved and fell in love with. Well, his widow, Allison Holker, is making headlines after claiming that she discovered his alleged drug addiction before his funeral. Twitch died by suicide in December 2022 at the age of 40, leaving behind Allison and their 2 young children, and Allison's stepdaughter, Wesley. Now, he initially rose to fame as a contestant on So You Think You Can Dance, where he met his wife, Allison, and he then became a regular host and DJ on the Ellen DeGeneres show from 2014 until 2022, and when he died. A lot of people loved him on the show, and in 2020, he was also named executive producer of Ellen's show, and he had roles in popular films and TV shows as well, so he built a really nice name for himself and career. And when he passed away, I know a lot of dancers, a lot of choreographers. My Facebook was flooded with memories of people who posted old photos of Twitch and that knew him personally. And people really, really had a lot of good things to say about him. So it said a lot about his character. 2 years after Twitch's death, his widow Allison now is finding herself in the center of a controversy on the internet because she's preparing to release a memoir discussing her late husband. And while she was recently speaking to People magazine, she said she discovered a cornucopia of drugs, including mushrooms, pills, and other substances that she had to look up on her phone. Now, she's claiming to have found a diary in which Twitch allegedly talked about being a child sex abuser survivor, something she said she didn't know about. If you don't believe me, look.
I had dealt with an ex that had addiction problems, and then I realized Steven had addiction problems, and it's something that I kind of have been like, where was I involved in this? And I had to take some steps for myself to realize, like, you know, I was able to help one, and I wish I could have been that for the other. But it's also not my job to do that. There was a moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet, and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out. But it also helped me process that he was going through so much. And he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone. Because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain.
Allison, I'm going to give you some grace because you did lose your husband. You lost your baby father. When your partner dies, however they die, and you see the outpouring of support and love and pain that people went through, why not just hold his name up? Why not hold him down so his kids can still be proud of their father? Why not be his partner that you were, well,
allegedly,
in life? Why do this? Is it for money? Is it for what? Is it to sell books? Because it's a tell-all. Like, telling your story and telling all are two different concepts. Then on top of that, I'm hearing that allegedly you wanted his mom to sign an NDA or his family to sign an NDA to be invited to the funeral. It's giving really Karen. It's giving really get me out of here, get out. It's giving weirdness to me. Now, a family member named Darielle quickly called out Allison. This was Darielle said in a tweet. I'm so tired of keeping my fucking mouth shut, bro. You did our family so motherfucking dirty. She won't let our family see the kids. He wasn't an addict. He smoked weed and was actively trying to quit. He wasn't some junkie. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about no NDA. This crazy woman made me and his actual family, including sign an NDA just to even attend the funeral. She's been trying to tarnish his legacy and refuses to let the Boss family see the children, only to exploit and lie on my cousin. Hell no. What do you think?
My neighbor, Eddie, danced with him on So You Think You Can Dance, and they were really good friends in this, and he has been talking about this a lot and posting it too, and anti her, Allison, and I just feel, I agree with you, like, too, I don't get why people, he's already passed away. I just think it's weird when people share stories after people pass that are not positive stories. Like, that's just very weird. And to make it your ex-wife, like, I don't care if you're your ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, whatever, like, I'm gonna hold you in a high light, like, you're passed away. It's just weird.
Yeah, and I feel like she's creating an environment now where his kids are having to grow up going, oh, my dad died a drug addict. Like, she made it sound like he's a crackhead. And furthermore, the thing
she said shrooms. I'm like
who cares? Everybody does that. And then furthermore,
I don't do that.
Not everybody like us. But and additionally, during that interview, she made it sound like she wasn't a present wife. So, and she's like, well, that's not my responsibility. I think it is your responsibility. And I think maybe you should have been a little more attentive now that you're saying it that way. It sounds problematic to me.
And I feel like it's different if you're doing something as, like, advocating, like, hey, before you take your life, like, you know, don't deal with substance abuse.
As an educational.
Yes.
Yeah. As an honor of his legacy.
Yes.
Not an exploitation.
But yeah, with the makeup and the set and the book coming out, it was given, like, let me give you some tea to
But
start
also
this book.
how she's treating his family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that to me seems very telling. It's not like he didn't like his family or whatever. Now, Twitch's brother, Dre Rose, and friend Courtney Ann Platt also spoke out, with Courtney leaving a lengthy post and Dre co-signing it. Take a look. I can't read all that. But read it while you can. Basically, you know, they had a lot to say around the relationship. And clearly pointing out that, you know, why do you want his kids and his family and the public to only know this about him? Why do you want this to be the last thing? Well, Allison then responded to critics accusing her of disgracing Twitch's legacy, and this is what she said. The person said, this whole thing made me sad. He's gone. Why tear apart his name? I was fully supportive about you moving in and being happy, but this paycheck was not worth disgracing his name. And the person was saying, I was okay with you moving on. And she said, I'll always love you, just trying to help people feel safe to ask for help and support. Didn't really come off that way. Hold on, let me just...
It was all a lie.
She then released an official statement to the public, and here's what she said. To fans of Stephen and our family and friends, I want to be clear that my only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen, to help other people. Just like you, I never really knew what happened. And even as I am trying to put the pieces together, I will never really know. If you decide to read the book, hopefully you'll see my intention is to celebrate the love and life I share with Stephen and our 3 beautiful children, and also the more complex aspects of both our lives. I hope that by sharing our full story, maybe I can help someone else who might see themselves or a loved one in Stephen. In sharing, I hope that maybe they can catch some of the red flags that I missed before it's too late. Over the course of the last 2 years, I've spoken in detail with NAMI as well as the Solomon family and the Defensive Line Foundation to better educate myself on mental health issues so that I can share warning signs with others. All of my proceeds from this book are going to fund the Mental Health Focus Foundation I started in Stephen's honor. Move with kindness. My hope is that we don't need to lose another husband, brother, father, or friend to suicide. I believe that if Stephen were able to choose, he would choose to have his story told if it meant saving even one life. Much love to all those who have supported our family these many years. Well, if that were true, then why does his family have to miss their grandkids or their nieces or nephews? Because you're keeping them from, allegedly, from what the family is saying. You know, why your movements ain't your emotions ain't lining up with your words. So one could look at you and say, Twitch is no longer in your life. Your career as a dancer doesn't really seem to be working. So the money's slowing up. And now here's another quick grab at the, despair of a person who's already taken themselves out the world. I don't know why you're moving this way. You're going to have to deal with your own karma. I can tell you what can happen. Things in your life will start falling apart, Allison, if you're doing dirty like this. If you're moving like this, I'm telling you the way that the world and the universe works, karma is going to come and get you. Twitch's mother then chimed into all of this, calling Allison's drug claims misleading and hurtful. Here is what the mom said. Our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publications spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let those accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realize I could not stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor. Connie Boss Alexander. What do you think?
Clearly, everyone who heard her statements heard her saying something very drastically different than what the understanding was. So for her to try and defend her statement, she's obviously like not paying attention and she's not hearing herself, because she is making him sound like he was a drug addict. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate.
It's just like, read the room. There's not one person that's on her side from his family or
not
friends.
Even me.
Shit.
I mean, look, Allison, if I thought you had a leg to stand on here, I would be, I'm saying I understand you went through a lot and the kids went through a lot, but these kids have to grow up knowing that their father left. That's enough in its own right, the way he left the earth. His family is grieving. The whole community, the whole Ellen community, including Ellen, are grieving. And a lot of you blamed Ellen for him killing himself and her show going away, because I saw that online. And, what do you think Ellen was going through when she had to grieve a person that she had brought in to be an important part of her life? I remember, just a personal note, I remember when Spinderella, DJ Spinderella from Salt and Pepper, she was up for this job and she didn't get it. Twitch got it, but she was so proud of him for getting it. But I remember how bad she wanted it and understanding how big that opportunity was. This man was given that opportunity because of God. He worked for it. And you were there raising his kids and helping to be his right hand. And then as soon as he's gone, why do we need to know about mushrooms and weed? And to white folks, maybe mainstream America, weed and mushrooms is a big deal. But like, there's a lot of people that smoke weed on a daily basis for healthcare purposes and use mushrooms to help get more centered. I've never done mushrooms and I don't smoke weed, but I mean, we don't live in an era where people are being shamed for those things. Now you're starting to say other things. Are you alleging cocaine or other hard barbiturates? Like, what are you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're shitting on the legacy of a man who's gone. So Twitch's stepdaughter, even Wesley, chimed in to defend her mother, making his family signed NDAs to see the body. This is what the stepdaughter, Allison's daughter, who probably should have just minded her business and ate her Twizzler. This is what she said.
And one day, we had an open casket viewing for Stephen. We had a funeral, and then we had a wake. And my mom asked for NDAs to be signed when we were seeing Stephen's body, because God forbid somebody that went to that took a photo of Stephen and put it on the internet, or shared it with somebody else. That's the type of things that NDAs are for. It's not so you can never talk about Steven. You can't ever talk about, you grieving him. You can't post about it. That's not what it is. And for all the people saying it, I just feel like you're uneducated. I'm sorry. But, truly, I'm fed up. Because NDAs are so important. And if you guys don't agree, that's cool. I'm grateful for my mom making sure that everybody signed NDAs and she put up that rule. But also, regardless, some people didn't even sign the NDAs. And my mom was lenient because she understands at the end of the day, this is family. So y'all want to disrespect her. And she's still nice. She's still kind. She's still forgiving. But you have to know, even when Steven was alive, people that attended our events, they would have to sign NDAs. But now, just because it's my mom handing the paper, y'all, it's different.
You should probably stay in the kid's place, in a step-kid's place, and not even comment. I get you want to defend your mom because your mom is being attacked, but your mom put herself out there with a book, and so when you step out into the public eye and you do whatever you do, including me, you got to take what comes with it. Allison has to stand on her own. Nice hair, by the way. You're cute. I understand, you don't want my brother being murdered and in the casket. I don't want to see photos of that. People did take photos. I'm sure there's photos out there. Yes, I get it. You want to protect it. Maybe an NDA for his mother probably wasn't the smartest thing because it's her son. He belongs to her. But you're the wife. I get it, but still wrong. Twitch's brother dragged Allison again. And the sad part about this is that this is going to keep going on and on and on until there's closure. And I don't know if Iyanla has time to call the family up, but somebody needs to fix this. The brother dragged Allison again and played a video recording of them talking about the funeral NDA. Listen.
Think.
Listen
Actually
to me.
think.
I got you. I got that. I told you, girl.
Make his mama sign an NDA
I told
to
you.
see his body.
Listen to this.
Listen. You actually think that it is cool to make his mama sign an NDA to see his body?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God.
I would do it again. I would do it again every single day for the rest of my life if I needed to.
To see his body.
Again and again and again.
Why would she need to sign an NDA to see his body?
It's great. But also, I don't understand how y'all don't understand that Steven's even asked her to do it.
He didn't ask her to sign.
I would do it again. I would do it again every single day for the rest of my life if I needed to.
You hear that? You hear that?
Again and again and again.
Why would she need to sign an NDA to see his body?
It's great. But also, I don't understand how y'all don't understand.
I got your ass. I told you.
He didn't ask her to sign an NDA to see his body.
What's this?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Did anyone ever tell you?
What's this?
In a party, the NDA for a party, the NDAs for a party.
And asking his mother to sign an NDA
No.
for a party?
It's not the same thing. I have had the NDA to go to the funeral. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I just said Stevens asked her, have to sign an NDA. No. Did you know this?
That's different than signing an
And
NDA.
No. That came from Steven.
I'm asking you, you would never post a picture of Steven in the thing, right? Picture of Steven in the casket, right?
Yeah, but I'm also in the industry and I know that. And also, I don't know all the people that were in that wake. By the way, because you're asking this question trying to set me up, I didn't know the people that were invited to that wake.
No, I'm not trying to set you up. I'm asking you, you would never post a picture of Steven in the thing, right? So if you say you wouldn't, why would you think that Connie would do that? That's what I'm asking you.
I was also going off of advice from people. So I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know why everyone expects me to have done this before. But also, just so you know, by the way, meanwhile, do you know that Steven has asked Connie to sign an NDA before? This was not her first time signing an NDA. I don't know if you knew this.
I mean, I've signed NDAs before. I think it's more.
Connie had to sign an NDA to go to one of our parties. Did you know this?
That's different.
Allison, you in danger, girl. It sounds sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm praying for peace. Let this man rest in peace, please. Keep the daughter off the internet. Allison, stay off the internet. Nobody likes you anymore. You've ruined everything for yourself. I think if you would have framed this in another way, like gone to the mom and said, I want to do this to support the community. We're going to do it for the foundation. People probably would have supported it and been more involved if you included them, making sure they're regularly seeing his kids. It just seems like I want to know why he killed himself now.
It never made sense to me.
But I'm just saying, like, did you have pressure at home? Is Allison, did she have a part in that? Because, you know, if your relationship is, if you don't have peace at home, you just want to escape. Don't blame it on the mushrooms. I don't know many people who have had a mushroom high and wouldn't kill themselves, right? Or weed. Anyhow, we're going to keep following. Bye. This prison guard smashed an inmate. Now, this happens more times than none. I mean, so I don't even know why we're talking about this, because I know lots of people. Well, I don't know them personally. I know lots of stories that I've seen out there on the internet of people who have hooked up with people in prison that work there. Well, Linda De Souza Ebro, a 30-year-old OnlyFans model and former prison guard in England, has been sentenced to 15 months in prison for having sex with an inmate. Last June, Linda was arrested after a sex tape went viral on social media. The video showed her in a prison cell having sex with Linton Wyrick, a 36-year-old convicted burglar, as another inmate recorded on a phone, which was unauthorized, by the way. Put a pin in that. Google that. Pull that video up. Oh, God. Research.
It's research.
Here's a photo collage of Linda. She's cute. And here's a photo collage of Linton. Find that video. He's cute. Well, anyway, after admitting to 3 separate sexual encounters with the burglar inmate, the former prison guard was sentenced to 15 months in prison, half to be served in custody, and the remainder on license, the UK's version of house arrest, where you get a little monitor, or supervised release. You know, I don't understand why a person would go through all of what it takes to get a job, to find a good job, to then go in and throw it all away because of some prisoner when you know he's probably going to get out. Burglar is not a lifetime sentence. I'm not going to say I can understand, but like the risk versus reward. If she's looking for the sexy, by the way. If the person had life sentence and, you know, we could go and say, okay, you can't really control who you fall in love with. You probably shouldn't have sex with them because they're locked up and you're a cop. But you got caught. Did you find it?
No, but she was married.
She was married?
Yes. This happens as a married prison guard.
Bitch, you tried.
They probably, he living off their income too.
Don't be fucking rude.
Is there a situation in which you would risk it all if you were a prison guard, Rob?
You know.
Oh my God.
What if it was Luigi? I know you're busting it open for Luigi.
So Luigi, you would take a chance?
No. He seems like he has some other issues going on.
Rob is only saying that because he said he Googled that his penis doesn't work. So,
well, Rob knows the sex tape. What's that website?
We're not going to promote that website.
But he knows how to find it.
We're not promoting any websites. Okay, while they look up the sex tape of the burglar, I don't think it's worth it. I think we need to get to a place where risking everything you got, cheating on your husband with an inmate, insanity.
I mean, just having sex in any place of work is just weird, right? Like, if I were to have sex in the green room, like, would I get fired?
That's why you work here with Johnny every day. No problems. By the way, Marina does get a little too friendly with my friends. Not in a cheating way, Max. You don't have to worry about it. But still, it's like, I like there to be separation of church and state. I go over to Johnny and Marina's Instagram to see who they follow because they like to be a little socially mixy with my people. No, I like there to be a separation because this is the way it goes. When people no longer work for me, they go away. They don't stay in my life through my friends. And my friends know that if they stay in my workers' lives, that they go away. I used to have somebody work for me. When I fired them, I almost lost a lot of people because anybody that still was associated with them was going to be the baby thrown out with the bathwater.
That's true.
So that's why if we've ever fallen out and you see like a mass unfollowing of all my people, that's because they pretty much read the memo.
Exodus.
Yeah, they know. All right, Rob is still doing research.
Well, I think it was in like the UK, so it's not popping up.
Okay, we'll call somebody. All right, well, anyway, listen, you look like he put you through hell. Either way, I wish you well, and I hope for your sake that your OnlyFans subscription has gone up. I don't know if it was worth it in the end, and you probably lost your man as a result of it, unless he's getting coined out from your escapades. There's nothing worth risking in your life, in your career. But anyway.
Oh, here's a screenshot.
Bye-bye.
They weren't even naked. That's him and her.
What does he have on? Sean John?
Oh my God, his underwears are rolled down, but he's
that video
fully
is on
clothed.
there. I didn't think that was a video, but if you click on videos, you can see that.
Is this one?
Click that.
Please don't give me a virus, Lord, on this.
Speaking of cheating, did Drake help LeBron cheat? Now, LeBron James is again being accused of cheating on his wife and children's mother, Savannah James. Now, let me say this. I'm going to continue to give LeBron grace because I'm telling you, right now, LeBron knows the grace that I've given him over the years because I've told LeBron that to his face, okay? But I am writing my second book, and there will be lots of details in my book around everything and the grace that I've given. Well, anyway, is Drake responsible for helping LeBron cheat on his children's mother, Savannah James, who I love, by the way? Well, this time, Academics is claiming
Allegedly.
that LBJ enlisted Drake's help to cheat on his wife. For years, there have been wild rumors about LeBron James cheating on Savannah with various women in and out of the industry, like allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes, Jules. Who denies everything? Booker. Despite this, Academics is now claiming that Drake has helped LeBron do his creeping. Now, before we get into Academics' comments, let's talk about Drake's Fighting Irish freestyle, which is titled after Bron's high school team he played ball for. Fans said the song is a LeBron diss on which Drake addresses their beef after Bron notably stood with Kendrick Lamar during their rap battle. Now, fans pointed out this verse on the song claiming Drake threatened to expose Bron. Take a look at the lyrics. And niggas cried the blues for you, saying it wasn't malicious, talking about we family. Well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid I can't rap, ever got to tarnish your public image. All that brother talk is if I really discovered a sibling. 6 degrees, my memories retrieving our humbly beginnings. Niggas wanted trouble, grabbed the shovel and dug up some ditches. I don't know what I just read. Well, now Academics is exposing Drake and LeBron James, alleging Drake helped facilitate encounters in Canada with women for LeBron. He said that they allegedly participated in two-man trysts where both men smashed the same women together. Ak, you're so messy. But since I didn't do it when I heard the allegations, let me go ahead and play your own words. Take a listen.
He's in this shit. This is to appease maybe fans. Like, is he spitting? Yes. Is this at LeBron? Yes. Right? Which, by the way, I completely get that angle, too. News flash for LeBron. Yo, LeBron, I talked to enough whores in Canada. I've talked to enough people. Maybe Drake will keep teasing it. Let me just tell you what I've heard. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-mans. Okay? You've been cheating on your goddamn wife. Drake used to facilitate the host. And basically, essentially, you can't dance to a song about him being a pedophile. He used to supply you with the bitches. I'm sorry, my nigga. Yes, if I'm Drake, I snitch on you too. Sorry, buddy. You can't do that. No. You've been living a lie, and everybody been thinking you're this perfect guy, but when you come to Canada, I know some of the whores. When you come to Canada, you know you come to certain places. I'm supplying you with the white women you love. You don't even like black chicks. White women. I'm the guy. So when I bring the tings and I'm hooking you up, when Kendrick drops a song saying certified lover boy, certified pedo, you're the first one to say, whoa, me and Drake done did some two-mans. He ain't never bring no underage girl. What the fuck is you talking about? Or how about you shut the fuck up and don't dance, don't crip walk, don't do nothing, and how about you go win some championships? I'm sorry. I'm snitching on you. That's why you in trouble, LeBron. You can't dance to a song about me being a pedophile when we went on two-mans.
Now, here's what I will say. I've heard the rumors of LeBron cheating for a long time, and LeBron knows that I know because LeBron himself reached out to people about what I know. I'm not going to get too much in detail because, like I said, I am writing my second book where I do talk about a lot of different things. But the one thing I will say is the reason why I chose not to say anything is because I love Savannah and I just don't want to ruin their relationship. But this is why I know that Academics is telling the truth, because he does cheat on his wife. Well, he's allegedly cheated on his wife with white women. And that's the thing. Now, I'm not really worried about getting sued because he wouldn't want me to put out the receipts and he knows what's going on. But what I will say is that Academics is right. If you jump in a beef and get messy, you can't be mad when the mess lays at your front step. And here's the thing. I am going back to being that savage that I was built to be. Rob is trying to make me pussy because now that I'm the vice mayor of Stockton, he thinks I've given up my day job. The people in Stockton know who they voted for. And look, if you're a city of Stockton staff person watching this going, oh my God, this is my vice mayor. Yes, you're watching me at my day job. The thing that's like me that I think Academics is calling LeBron out is he's showing you who he is. I'm showing you who I am. LeBron has built up this image of being whatever he is, and he is all of that, but he's also a allegedly flawed man who's now being exposed. I think because it's Academics doing the exposing, most people aren't listening to it. Just like if I say something, wait, hold on, do your thing, TikTok. Some people may think it's all a joke and being messy, but the reality is, and the reality that LeBron knows, and I'm telling you, I just posted on my social media, do not call me if we don't have a relationship. I do not have a relationship with LeBron or his people. I want one and I value one, but it is what it is. If people dug a little bit, they could find it. People know the going ons in the business as it relates to LeBron. Have you heard? You've been around me for a long time. You know what I've heard. Yeah. Okay. Have you heard?
But I was gonna say too, as my boyfriend included, this is the male species king and savior. If you say anything foul, I've always told Max things I've heard, and he and everybody
About LeBron?
Yeah.
Well, because LeBron has done a great job of building an image.
Yes.
He's done a lot of amazing things. He has a great school where he helps
Yes.
kids. He has his film company. He's a great partner to different people. You know, there's a lot of things about LeBron that have come across our desk that we have not put out because of who he is and how important he is to the culture. But you know, people do get tired of the fuckery in the industry, and I could tell you, I'm with you. I'm not going to deliver it the way you did because you've already done it for everybody. But I will say that you know it's a no-brainer. But do people care? Do people care that he's cheating on his wife? Do you think she doesn't know that he's cheating on her? I'm sure she knows, right?
She has to know. A woman's not stupid. But also, didn't like Michael Jordan? I just feel like every GOAT, you can still be a GOAT and a cheater at the same time.
Men, Marina, men.
The incoming president of the United States allegedly did the same thing. I mean, no one seems to care if people are cheating on their wives.
Well, I wanted to get nastier. Drake, I want you to put out Drake, you want to do the dirt? This is the show you should be coming to.
Please,
you know.
come here.
But no, listen, I think that this is a year of resetting the table. Everybody's going through it. Diddy is still in jail. Jay-Z is motioning to clear his name, but it's still not all the way clear yet. I'm sure Jay-Z is going to get through that. And now, you know, not Bronny, that's your son. LeBron, you're in trouble. So I'm going to go over and see if Savannah unfollows you later on when this airs. But do you think Academics will get labeled messy for saying this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
but
I've
he's
heard
not
people
the
say
vice
he's
mayor.
a
Nah. But that's the thing.
I'm
Donald
just
Trump
joking.
is president.
Right.
So
Exactly why I brought
So
it up.
we're not going to put a different rule on me than we do on the president.
Exactly why I brought it up.
I love Academics for this, though. It is very messy. I was not expecting this in my bingo card, but I like it. But people also call him a liar. I don't know if it's a liar, and he poses a good point. That's
Listen,
weird.
if I drop the receipts I have right now, brace for impact.
Oh God!
And I've told LeBron directly because I know that he was. And this is the thing where people make me out to be the bad guy when you're doing dirt. I told LeBron directly, I don't want to disrupt your life. I want to work with you. I'll tell it right now. No, I'm not going to tell it all right now. What I will say is, in good faith, I actually tried to work with them, and I got screwed. You know that.
Yeah.
So that'll come out of my book. But listen, LeBron, how you have all that testosterone and built up semen in you for all these other women when you got a whole championship to win? Is this the reason why the Lakers haven't won in a while? Because you're literally leaving it all on the floor. Anyway, Ack, you're so messy. Great job.
He would be good on the show.
Who?
Ack.
So would LeBron, but LeBron won't come because there's no white girls for him to cheat on his wife with, allegedly. Well,
Allegedly.
It's truth, trust, and transparency.
I'm sure
right?
Max would let you get away with it. All right.
Oh,
anyway,
no.
good luck all. Joe Budden, we have to clear this up because, you know, last time we were here, he was sleepwalking with his ding-a-ling hanging out, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, a couple episodes ago, we talked about Joe Budden trending online after being charged with disorderly lewdness. And he was, you know, allegedly walking around his building. He said he was sleepwalking. I don't know. Well, he has since gone to court, admitted to sleepwalking nude, and appears to have won the case. So I'm going to give him a round of applause because, you know. What? Things went down on December 4th when police in Edgewater, New Jersey were called to an apartment building by a woman claiming that her neighbor, Joseph Budden, was standing in front of her door butt-ass naked. Now, she claimed that she and her 2 young daughters saw ring camera footage of Joe allegedly masturbating in the hallway. Now, Joe was arrested and charged with disorderly lewdness and stalking. Now, on a previous episode of his self-titled podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, he's been chronicling his issues with his neighbor for a while, revealing that he's been told by management to find another place to record his podcast, and he's also talked about being a sleepwalker. Well, on a new episode of the show, he now is updating fans on his absence from the show and how he got caught up in court with his lewdness case, and he's now won. In the episode, Joe confesses to sleepwalking to his racist Karen neighbor's door, but denied her lies about the masturbation. Listen.
These people decided to misuse some of the systems that are in place for real victims, and they went to the police to file a report to say that Joe Budden was outside of their door masturbating on their door, and they don't know if I was there with the intention to R-word her and her family. So what would seem like a simple sleepwalking medical condition, no, turned into something much bigger. So I've been gone for a month having because I had a civil suit. I went to trial, and then the first day, she took the stand, got up there, a bunch of white girl tears, cried immediately. She get up there and she does all the crying. Oh my God, I was in fear for my life, and my kids saw this. This lady showed this video to her kids. That was day one. But what I learned is, and this is for stalking and lewdness.
How long was the video?
10 seconds. 10-second video. But the stalking is from the day before. All of this happened the 3rd and the 4th.
Okay.
Remember we heard all that noise?
No, it was irony that the day
we heard all that noise.
Niggas was throwing bowling balls on the floor.
Yeah,
Yes.
I went up there, stood there to see if I heard some noise, left. The very next day was a sleepwalking shit. But for lewdness, you need to be naked with the intent to sexually gratify yourself, which is why she lied on that paperwork to say he was masturbating on my door, as if I can't find a million better places to masturbate than that. My lawyer asked her if she thought that I was fully erect in the video. You know what she said? She said yes. But that was a big point of contention during this civil trial. Is he erect? He touched his penis in this video, so was that masturbating? She says yes.
Not sure if the question of whether you were erect or not is because the size of it. I mean, I've heard. But either way, this whole thing you're wrapped up in is crazy. But I'm going to give you some slack, not because of any shortcoming on your behalf, but because I know how it feels to have people just drag your name through the dirt. But the fact that you were walking around sleepwalking, and if you have the anti-narcolepsy where you walk around with your penis out and just kind of find the buttons to push on your neighbor's doors, I don't know. Joey, you are too much of a shit talker for you to be wrapped up in some weird shit like this, that every single person that hates you should be talking about you right now. Where is Azalea Banks? Where are the people that we need to be dragging you? Because you were so busy talking about Ozempic, when we could be up here talking about your limp dick and your inability to stay asleep in your own house. But I'm a vice mayor, so I have to behave. I'm just going to say that this is highly entertaining, laughable, and you're not even really giving it the energy that we want you to, because there's a video that could be out there. And if you're the neighbor with the Ring camera and you have the video and you want to release it to somebody, please send it to info@HollywoodUnlocked.com. I mean, I won't release it, but I would love to at least be a culture critic and criticize this.
Yeah.
Like the inmate video with the prison guard.
Not what did Miranda Priestley say when she couldn't get the flight home? Not impressive enough. You with your fancy resume and all your.
Oh.
I need to go watch the movie again. But in all fairness, Joe, this is just weird. What do you think? Do you want to see the video?
The Joe Budden video?
Yeah. Why you fix your face?
Well, no, because I mean, there's no masturbation, and I'm sure it's just his face in the camera, like ringing the doorbell. So
you could see it.
I'm sure for like 2 seconds in a blurry camera video, so it's probably not anything impressive.
You saw it?
No.
Do you
no
want
one
to see
saw
it?
Yeah.
Why?
I just want to see it because I want to look at his eyeballs, not his thing, to see if he's sleepwalking.
Can we get Joe on the show? Will Joe come on the show?
I love Joe Budden. I don't get why everybody hates Joe Budden.
I don't hate Joe. The only reason I talk about Joe is because Joe talked about me. First, he went on Drink Champs and he said all these positive things about me, how there was no smoke, and then he went and cracked the Ozempic joke. It's like, pick a side. You know, I think the way he's used to tearing people down, but most of them have been his women, and they've allowed him to beat them down, literally. And there's bigger bullies on the playground like me, or like the guy who chased him down in Jersey when he was talking crazy about the guy who was stealing all the houses, the one that worked with DJ Envy or whatever. You know, I just don't like a bully. And so I would love to have Joe is welcome on the show at any point in his life. I doubt he'll come, but there's always an open invitation. Just make sure when you do, keep your penis strapped up like Bruce. Don't come in here and have that thing wagging all in front of no cameras, because I will call LAPD.
Oh, God. Not like Bruce. Bruce just got Caitlin's catching a lot of strays today.
I wasn't saying that, that Bruce. See, you, I said Bruce. You just picked the name. That's crazy. You were anti-trans on accident.
I was not.
Shit, I didn't say Bruce Jenner. I said Bruce, and you went straight to Caitlyn.
Well, what other Bruce is tucking?
That's what I was talking about. All right, bye. Megan Thee Stallion is back clout chasing a prisoner. She's getting a restraining order against the guy who allegedly shot her. Megan Thee Stallion has been granted a restraining order against Tory Lanez, who's currently serving a 10-year sentence at the California Correctional Institution, a Supermax facility in Tallahatchie. Now, in December 2022, Tory, as you know, was convicted in Megan's 2020 shooting. He was found guilty with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded and unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging the firearm with gross negligence. Now, about a month ago, Megan and her attorneys requested that her temporary order from last November be extended. Megan's accusing Tory of subjecting her to repeated trauma and re-victimization, further claiming that his alleged continued harassment has caused her severe emotional distress and reputational harm. Now, in the filing, Tory is being accused of harassing Megan on social media and enlisting third parties to do the same. Megan accuses Tory of having blogger Milagro bully, harass, and further victimize her online. Now, I will say, I know Tory. Tory and Milagro were allegedly business partners or going into business together. And I'm sure it was to somehow further his agenda of getting his narrative out there. But all celebrities do that. Megan, you know, there was a small period of time where she was wanting to build with me, but her alcoholism and the ongoing attacks of EJ King and all the different things that she was doing to me, reporting on them, strained that relationship. So we've since moved on since there. But why are you getting a restraining order against Tory? Didn't she just drop a whole documentary where she talked about Tory in the whole interview? Tory's team is firing back. Call cap on the whole situation. Now, she called cap on her claiming that he's had zero contact with her directly. Now, Tory's legal team instead accuses Megan and her team of using millions of dollars in large corporations to weaponize the justice system to further tear down Tory, who maintains his innocence in the shooting. Now, despite Tory being in a supermax and fighting back, a judge said Megan's team has provided enough evidence to grant her a full restraining order until January 2030. Is Megan the problem?
Free Tory.
I don't want to victim shame.
I don't want to victim
So I don't, until it's proven otherwise, just got to say, like, her case was proven to be what her case was proven to be. So if she feels like she's in harm's way, she should have the right to.
How's he harming her from prison?
If she has third parties constantly attacking her. But I mean, I'm not in it, so I don't know, but that's the way the
None
court
of
went.
us were there that night, but I just still feel like it was a mistake. It was a bunch of lovers and friends together with a lot of liquor in the pool.
That's what happened. That's what the people told me. That was
that's-
there.
You heard, because DDG recorded Tory and the mic out of prison and like put a Tory feature on his new song. And I listened to it, and Tory says in the song, like, my only regret from that night is getting out of the pool with Kylie, because I think that triggered, like...
Well, Kylie allegedly put them out because they were drunk and he was hitting on her in front of Megan, but Megan didn't know that he was allegedly sleeping with the other girl.
Correct. It's just a lot. And I just feel like, why don't they use Tory as an inmate to fight the fires and expunge him?
Tory don't need to be out fighting no fire. Tory need to be in there fighting this case. You know, I'm not going to say whether I believe Tory shot her or not because I wasn't there. There are people that are saying that he didn't shoot her. Tory said he didn't shoot her. She said he did. She was probably drunk and don't remember. Megan has, from what I've heard from lots of people, an alcohol problem. I reported where she tried to fight Winnie Harlow at the party. That since then has been acknowledged at the Breakfast Club. They talked to people that were there that saw them. You know, people who have alcohol and drug addictions are in denial that they're the problem. I did this for years. I would say to Rob, I did not know I was the problem. Megan, you need to get help. Leave Tory alone. You're the only survivor of a gun violent situation who continues to now harass the person that did something allegedly to you. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard the streets are talking, do your thing, TikTok, that somebody that we know has evidence that would definitely flip this whole case upside down. And I'm trying to get my hands on it. And I'm telling y'all right now, and you too, Megan, if I get it, I am putting it all the way out. And I posted, don't call me. If you don't have an established relationship with Hollywood Unlocked directly, please do not call me. I'm just going to go back to reporting the facts as they are and letting them lie, even though Rob told me I shouldn't. My therapist said I should. So, anyway, we made it through another episode.
Oh my God! Jesus.
This show's kind of messy.
Oh,
It's not.
slightly.
Yeah, it's not. Well, anyway, you guys, that's everything. It's time for thoughts and prayers. The devastation that has taken place in Los Angeles is unimaginable. And there aren't only homes and material items lost, but personal belongings attached to memories, pets that are lost, and also, most importantly, lives. To everyone affected by the LA fires, we send you our deepest thoughts and prayers. And we also pray that all displaced families find their way back to peace and can quickly rebuild their lives. Now, prayerfully, with the local, state, and federal government stepping up, this will become a reality. And not the kind of reality involving Khloe Kardashian. This reality star got a taste of her own medicine after coming for LA Mayor Karen Bass. The internet let her and her water-wasting family have it. And she's been quiet ever since. She better take a page out of Kimmy's book and just help the people instead of pointing fingers. But Khloe isn't the only person catching heat this week. Allison Holker was accused of disgracing her late husband and his family, and the internet wasn't having that either. Why can't we ever let people rest in peace? Or in LeBron's case, cheat in peace. According to academics, Drake is airing out LeBron's dirty deeds for turning his back on him. But is that a fair move? Academics try to claim LeBron was on stage crip walking with Kendrick after he was creeping on his wife with Drake's help. LeBron say it ain't so. And speaking of creeps, Joe Budden admitted to creeping in his apartment hallway in the New, while his neighbor alleged he was beating his meat outside her door. He said the only thing he was beating was this case. Something Tory said he was going to do but ain't did yet. Not only did Tory not beat his case, but he was sentenced to 10 years in prison and is now being muzzled indefinitely. Until 2030, he nor anyone else for him can say anything to or about Megan. Tory, just work on yourself and do your time. We'll see you whenever you get out. That's it. That's the show. You can follow us everywhere that Jason Lee Show streams or is downloadable. Make sure you keep coming back because just like AA, it works. Peace.
The Jason Lee Podcast.